You know that heavy shoulder, buzzy head feeling at night when your brain won't stop and your stomach still feels full? What if a single fragrant cup could be the tiny ritual that helps you unwind? Stay with me. Today we're using damask rose petals to build a calming bedtime ritual that supports mood, soothes digestion, and even softens your skin. I'll show you a step-by-step soothing rose bedtime tea and a rose petal honey tonic you can make tonight.
Here's my simple case. Consistent sensory herbal rituals act as reliable cues to your nervous system. Small acts that help you move from on to rest. That's the practical promise we'll test through recipe and routine.
Nice. The research shows pleasant aromas and predictable routines lower perceived stress, so that nervous system cue idea has a basis. But let's be clear, we're talking support and rhythm, not miracles.
Exactly. Support, not a cure. Quick picture for listeners. Imagine hands cupping a warm cup on a crowded train home, the steam and scent helping your chest loosen. That sensory moment is exactly the kind of small ritual that signals rest.
Let's make sure everyone knows what we mean by rose here. Damask rose, Rosa damascena, is the floral type used for culinary petals, rose water, and rose hips. We mainly use dried petals for tea and infusions today. And a quick caution, essential oil is a different concentrated product. Don't ingest that.
Right. Culinary petals are what you want. Loose dried flowers or tea bags labeled for food use. The hips are a separate ingredient, fuller-bodied and vitamin-rich. But we're focusing on petals and their aroma-driven benefits.
Okay, what does rose actually help with? Short list. 1, mood and nervous system. 2, mild digestion comfort. 3, topical skin soothing. I'll push back a little though. I'm not sure I buy the digestion claim, unless you explain whether this is ritual, aroma, or a mild pharmacological effect. Can you unpack that?
Good question. It's a mix. For mood, aroma, and ritual do a lot. There are measurable short-term stress reductions from pleasant smells. For digestion, traditional use calls rose a mild carminative. That means small amounts may ease bloating or cramping for some people, likely through gentle relaxant effects and the calming ritual that follows a meal. Not a replacement for medical care, but a helpful, low-risk option for occasional discomfort.
That makes sense. Nutritionally speaking, petals aren't a concentrated source of vitamins, but they do contain polyphenols and volatile compounds that contribute aroma and mild bioactivity. So the evidence aligns with what you just described. Modest, supportive effects.
I find the mood piece so useful in practical life. On a night I can't switch off, a cup of rose tea slows me down. It's not dramatic, but that small downshift matters. So, practical uses. Sip after dinner for digestion and calm. Use cool tea as a facial rinse. Add petals to a bath, or inhale steam from a warm bowl when anxiety spikes.
Quick sourcing note. Buy culinary-grade petals from reputable sellers, choose organic when possible, and avoid any petals labeled fragrance or for aromatherapy only. If you grow your own, harvest early in the morning, rinse gently, and dry on a clean screen away from direct sun.
All right, people listening for the recipe, you earned it. You stayed, so here's the payoff. The soothing rose bedtime tea and a rose petal honey tonic. I'll list ingredients slowly, then walk through each step so you can follow along.
Ingredients for the bedtime tea.
1 to 2 teaspoons dried damask rose petals, or 1 culinary rose tea bag. 1 cup hot water. Optional, a little honey or a thin slice of lemon.
For the rose petal honey tonic, 1/3 to 1/2 cup culinary grade dried rose petals and 1 cup raw honey. You'll also need a clean jar.
Equipment, a mug or small teapot, a fine strainer if you're using loose petals, a heat-safe bowl for steam or rinses, and a clean jar for the honey infusion.
Tea steps. Step 1. Place 1 to 2 teaspoons petals into your mug. Step 2. Pour 1 cup of hot, just off the boil water over the petals. Step 3. Cover and steep 5 to 10 minutes. Longer for deeper flavor. Step 4. Strain, add honey or lemon if you like, and sip slowly about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The slow sipping is part of the cue. Notice your shoulders drop.
Honey tonic steps. Step 1. Lightly bruise 1/3 to 1/2 cup dried petals to release aroma. Step 2. Pack into a clean jar and pour raw honey until petals are fully submerged. Step 3. Seal and infuse at room temperature for 1 to 2 weeks, shaking gently every day. Step 4. Strain the honey into a clean jar and compost the spent petals.
How to use the honey tonic. Take a teaspoon by the spoonful when you want a little evening treat, or dilute for skin. To use as a facial rinse, mix 1 teaspoon infused honey with 4 ounces of cool, boiled then cooled water. Do a patch test, then gently splash or compress onto face and pat dry. Use 1 to 2 times per week for most skin types.
Frequency. Tea a few evenings per week or nightly if it genuinely helps your sleep routine. Honey tonic by spoon or diluted for skin, once or twice weekly. These are gentle rhythms, not daily high-dose routines.
Quick safety checklist. Patch test topical uses for 24 hours. Avoid petals from unknown sources or those treated with pesticides. Do not ingest essential oils. And if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or on medication, check with your healthcare provider before regular use.
If someone says, "I tried rose and it irritated me," what's the troubleshooting? First, stop immediately. Check for fragrance sensitivity or contaminant exposure. Try a small patch with a well-sourced culinary grade product later, and always prefer petals that are labeled for culinary use.
Love that we're practical here. Real life is messy. Before we close, 2 easy variations. Add a pinch of lavender to the tea for extra calm, or a thin slice of ginger for stronger digestion support. For the honey tonic, a strip of organic lemon peel brightens the flavor.
Recap in one breath. Damask rose petals can support relaxation through aroma and ritual, gently soothe occasional post-meal discomfort, and calm skin when used topically with a patch test. We shared exact measurements for a bedtime tea and a rose petal honey tonic you can make at home.
If you try this tonight, notice the small shift. 1 spoonful, 1 slow sip, and how that tiny habit changes your evening. That's the point. Small, sensory rituals that cue your nervous system to downshift.
Share a photo of your jar with hashtag Earthy Rose. We'll reshare one a week. Follow Earthy Remedy on Instagram and TikTok for the recipe card, measurements, and a short how-to reel you can screenshot. If something doesn't feel right after a patch test, stop and check in with a clinician.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Try this small ritual. Notice how you feel. And if you liked this episode, follow Earthy Remedy, leave a rating, and share it with someone who could use a little plant-powered calm.
We'll be back with more single herb deep dives that are practical, safe, and easy to try. Post questions and photos on our socials. We love seeing your jars and hearing how you adapt the rituals.
Listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference.